detail and the magnificence, the dreamy, unbelievable qualities of things in the virtual world don't stop. They continue to be relentlessly driven by Moore's law. I suppose up to the very limits of what our brains can take in. But I can tell you one thing. Our brains, like Han Solo said about money, our brains can take in a lot more than they're getting today. So it's just spectacular to realize that the digital world we're going into will be better in its resolution than our own. Staggering thought. I wanted to plug that video that I mentioned, I think, in blogs, and I was, Mark knows I was just going gaga about this thing, which was that William Butler Yeats. Has everybody saw that one? There was clips, I think, from the same artist, Lainey Loon, or something, did the Yeats poem, The Stolen Child. And you're wandering through this wonderland where she's basically, or I'm going to say she, I actually don't know, has built, I haven't met the avatar, has built this set that is this poem come to life, right? And it's just mind-boggling. I mean, there's no way that you could possibly build it in the real world. More importantly, and this is like the early days of the web, what matters so much is not that it can be done, but that it could be done so easily and fast. She was able to do something that would have taken a Peter Jackson sort of budget to do that. She was able to do that completely just for fun. Or I don't know, we don't have her here. She might have said it was torture, but she was in a month's time or whatever. We all know how long it takes to build things in Second Life. Staggering achievement. I mean, you look at that and you just imagine with a little bit more, as the frame rates and the scripting and the polygon count, the mesh, as that stuff comes together a little bit more, I mean, it's just ridiculous what people are going to be able to do. So this thing is going to be theater for human experiences that we have not yet seen and we will not see in the real world. And that bifurcation, you think about it, that would be such an exciting moment. People start to realize that the things in the digital world are things that are sort of, you can't have them in the real world. You got to go there. Now, on the got to go there side, one of the things that Byers was talking about as well, which I thought was inspiring, and my kind of last point about all this was, this transition is a tough one. People, you as the pioneers of the digital world will be disliked and ostracized sometimes and judged. And part of the reason for that is that. If you're the force that leaves those buildings empty, not everybody's going to like you. I mean, it's a scary thing. People, as Byers was saying, people in the real world have this feeling that maybe there's something here. And a lot of them don't say it all the time, right? But whenever you have that feeling like you're being outmoded, it's not a good feeling. Some of the negative media that gets written about Second Life is inevitable, and some of it will be to that point, and it'll be that way for some time. I mean, if I was sitting pretty in my first life in New York, having a good time on the Upper West Side, and I looked at these digital people that were sort of rising like water around me, I don't think I'd have much good to say about it. I'd find a way to say, geez, these weirdos, I don't know, I don't think it's very mainstream, certainly not right now. I mean, some of the experience that you're going to have is going to be hard. And I'll tell you, as this thing grows and gets better and more functional, it's going to get harder. You haven't seen anything. So going back to that settler thing, understand that we haven't crossed that magical chasm that everybody talks about. We haven't done it yet. That's the billion people, or hundreds of millions. As we do that, the one thing I'd ask of everybody here, my final point, or my call out to everybody is, try and recognize that we're at the very beginning. And together, you guys and us are going to have to make and weather tremendous change as we move from where we are today to where this thing is, this as yet imaginary global kind of new digital world. And the changes that you're going to have to weather in going from A to B, you're not always going to like. In fact, everybody here is certainly going to dislike some of them some of the time, and so are all the Lindens. And so am I sometimes. But those changes are inevitable because this is a revolutionary change. And you're going to be a big part of that. And I think that if you do believe that it's a force for good, as I do, and you want to make it happen faster, try, I'm not saying you have to, you don't, try to work with us as much as you can, and try to let go a little bit, and try to detach a little bit, like I said, from those buildings on the plane, because we can't get to that kind of scale anymore.